Hey guys, welcome to ClubCal Online. I'm Grace and I'm here with Crystal and we're going to take you through a strength upper class. This class is going to be focused on planche. It's going to be a little bit more of a beginner planche. So if you're new to planche work or maybe you're more experienced but you want to revisit some of the basics, this is a great class for you. If you're looking for something a little more advanced, we do have some more advanced planche workouts in our library. So for today's workout, you really don't need much. You'll just need a yoga mat or just some comfortable floor space. And then some light weights. We have a pair of dumbbells. If you don't have dumbbells at home, you can use a couple of cans of soup. You can put some books or weights in a backpack and you can use that. We're just gonna be doing some front raises near the end of our workout. So when you guys are ready, we're going to start warming up on hands and knees, and we're actually going to start by warming up the wrists. We're going to do first knuckle push-ups. So you want to get your shoulders right on top of your hands, and then from here you're going to push up onto that first knuckle and then just nice and slow on the way down. Yep, and we're just going to do this for about a minute. And if you've never done this before and you're finding this difficult, bring your knees as close to your hands as you need to. Yeah, you'll notice Crystal's nice and close to her hands here. If you guys have done this before, been doing this a long time, you can back the knees up, but just make sure that your shoulders stay on top of your hands and they don't move behind them. Good, we're about halfway. What you'll probably be feeling is a nice steady burn through the forearm, maybe even into the hands a little bit. You feeling that? Feeling the forearms? Okay, good. Planche is very heavy on the hands and on the wrists and on the forearms, so that's why we're going to spend a lot of time warming them up. Good. And then go ahead and just shake out those hands a little bit. We're going to go back down into that position, and we're going to do the same movement, but now we're going to turn the hands out. And then same thing, you're coming up on that first knuckle, slow on the way back down. Shoulders stay on top of the hands the whole time. And we'll go for another 30 seconds or so. I'm not so concerned with the amount of time spent here, just that we're getting a lot of blood flow through the wrist. If you guys know, if you're familiar with planche at all and you know it's hard on your hands and you have parallettes and you prefer to use parallettes, you're welcome to grab those. Good. And then we're going to keep doing this, and we're actually going to turn the hands back behind you. So this might be a big stretch for you. If that's the case, bring one knee in between your hands and you can lean forward a little bit, right? The farther back you are with the wrist, the bigger of an angle that's going to be, and that can be tough on the wrist. So feel free to lean the shoulders forward a little bit if you need to. How's those wrists feeling?
It's good. It's definitely tight.
Okay. Yeah, you'll feel a stretch at the bottom of this movement. Guys, do your best with it. We're still just warming up. Good. And then shake those hands out a little bit more. Should be feeling nice and warm through the hands, through the wrists. Yeah. And then we're going to do some warm-ups with the hands in the other direction. So now we're going to do just a straight arm wrist push-up. If you can't straighten your elbows in this position, they can absolutely be bent. If you can straighten them, that's what we're aiming for. We're just going to come up onto the top of the fist, slow on the way back down. And again, keep those knees as close to the hands as you need to. Good. Most people I know are in this position that Crystal is in. I know very, very few people who can move their feet back or who can do this in a plank. Excellent. Beautiful. And then we're going to stay in that same starting position. This time, instead of coming into a fist, you're going to come up onto the like fingernails of your middle three fingers and then back down. Okay, so it's kind of a weird one, but you're just going to push into those fingers and come up. Yep. Learned this one from our Australian friend, Simon Atta. I don't think I've seen anyone else do this. It's kind of a unique one. We're targeting the back of the hand, the back of the wrist, the side of the forearm. probably not putting a lot of weight in this one unless you have really strong fingers. Yeah. Otherwise, most of your weight's probably still in your knees, and that is totally fine. Okay, good. Let's flip those palms flat again, fingers spread wide, and now we're just gonna stretch. So elbows straight. And you guys have options here. You can just lean forward and hold it. You can go side to side, maybe pulses in and out of that stretch. All of those things are great options here. Yeah, we got some circles there. We're just gonna spend some time in this position. Good. And then we're going to turn the hands out about 45 degrees. So now your thumbs are facing directly forward. Now you're going to lean into it, and you'll probably be able to get a little bit farther. So a knee between the hands can kind of help you get that lean. And then same thing, it can either just be a hold, it can be a little side to side. And if the pinky edge of your palm comes up a little bit, that's actually okay. You can get a little bit of a, here, I'll turn sideways. You can take a little bit of a lift here. Excellent. Good, and let's do one more. We're going to take those hands, we're going to flip them all the way around, fingers back towards you. And I know this stuff is a little tedious, it's not super exciting, but it is really, really important before doing things like planche that we just warm up the wrists really, really well, make sure they're prepared well. That'll keep them from getting injured. Right. And then before we get into our first exercise, we are just going to do a quick shoulder warm up, and then we're going to get right into it. So we're going to take some scap shrugs. Option one is to stay on hands and knees. You're going to retract the shoulders, protract the shoulders. We're going to do this for 30 seconds. If you're feeling like you want a little bit more challenge, you can come up onto those toes. And we're going to go for 30 seconds and begin. And you guys, if you guys can see Crystal's shoulders, you can see how much range of motion she has here. She's bringing those shoulder blades almost all the way together, and then she's pushing them apart. So the pushing them apart, that protraction, we're going to use that shape a lot today as we work on our planche. If you don't have a lot of range of motion today, that's okay. It'll get there. It'll get there. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. We're going to flip it over, and we're going to do some table rocks. You're going to bring those hands behind you, and we're going to keep the hips low. Instead of lifting the hips up, we're just going to keep them hovering above the ground, and we're going to protract and retract, protract and retract. Yep. For 30 seconds. And go ahead and begin. Good, and those hips might move a little bit, but what we're focusing on, is just moving the shoulders. Instead of using the hips to help us get into that retraction, we're gonna use our muscle a little bit more. Yes, it requires a little bit more work, I think, when you can't use your legs to get those hips up there. Good, last 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. All right, guys, we're going to go into our first set of exercises. If you need more shoulder warm up than that, feel free to do a couple more rounds, but we're going to get right into our first exercise. So our first exercise here is a single arm plank hold. And we're not going to spend a lot of time here. We're only going to spend about 15 seconds per side. So you've got some different options here. One is full plank, and you can keep the legs wide if you need to. You can bring that hand all the way to the small of the back. What we don't want is rotating open. And what we're going for is a big, strong protraction through the shoulders. Another option is to grab onto the opposite arm or the palm, or even just kind of keep the fingertips on the ground, but be really light about it. You can also come down to your knees for this one, okay? Because we are putting a lot of weight on that one arm. All right, let's go up and let's hold. Remember, our focus is on that supporting shoulder. We're protracting the shoulder blade. We're pushing that shoulder blade away from us. Yep, Crystal's kind of going back and forth between the fingertips. And then we're going to switch sides, just like that, already into the other side. Yep, A big strong push through here. We're just kind of building strength through the shoulders individually. Try not to let those hips rotate. 3, 2, and 1. Very nice. And we're going to pair that with a little bit of glute work. So you're going to come onto your belly. Crystal will show this one. You're going to straddle the legs as wide as you can, keeping your chest and your chin on the ground. What we're going to do is we're just going to lift the legs in the straddle and lower for 30 seconds. All right, and begin. And the reason we do this with our planche work is later on, down the road, way down the road, if you're training for a straddle planche, you have to be able to hold your legs up in the air. And so this builds that glute strength, that lower back strength that you need to hold your legs up in the air. And it's just going to give your shoulders a nice break before we go to the next round. Good, last 5. 3, 2, and 1. All right, we're going into round 2, single arm plank. I'd encourage you guys to start with the opposite arm that you started with last time, if you can remember what that is. And begin. Good, big strong push through the shoulder blade. Good, yep, use that other arm for support if you need to. You can come down to the knees if you need to. 3, 2, and switch sides. Good, planche requires a ton of shoulder strength, and that's what we're working here. We're building that shoulder strength. 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. All right, we're on the floor, legs are straddled. We got 30 seconds, and begin. Good. And we're thinking of 2 things here. We're lifting, but we're also trying to widen the legs as much as possible. When you do start working straddle planche, the wider you can go with your legs, the easier it will actually be. Especially if you got those long legs like Crystal. You're gonna get that nice wide straddle, will make it easier. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. We're gonna do one more round of that single arm plank. How's those shoulders feeling?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. All right, she's ready to go. Guys, join in. This is our last round, 15 seconds per side. You can start with whichever arm you'd like and begin. Good. Really fight to keep those hips square. Feel free to go as wide as with the legs as you need to. If you're having a hard time squaring the hips, go wide with the legs. That will help with the balance here. Awesome. Switch sides. Good. Great job keeping those hips square. Push up through the shoulder. Good, good, good. Push into the floor for 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. And down onto the floor. Yeah, take a minute, enjoy it. And then we're gonna do our last round of these leg lifts and begin. Good, good, good. Thinking about 2 things, right? Lifting, also widening, pulling the heels apart. You're gonna feel a lot in the side of your glutes, kind of right here, maybe a little bit into the lower back as well. And it's harder than it looks. You'll be feeling those glutes for sure. 10 seconds. Three, 2, and rest. All right, guys, before we go on to the next set of exercises, let's revisit those wrist stretches. We're gonna take about a minute. Guys, feel free to take any of the wrist stretches that we did earlier, maybe this one, maybe this one. You can go palms up, facing whatever direction. Just take a minute here to give those wrists some love. You can also make fists and do this. Just wanna give you guys a little bit of freedom to kind of move your wrists around as needed. If you're not sure what to do here, you can follow with what Crystal's doing. She's starting off with those fists. And our next set of exercises, we're going to continue to strengthen the shoulders. And we're going to continue to strengthen those outer hips. Yeah, how's the wrist feel? Good. Yeah, she's rolling them out, rolling them out. Again, planches a lot on the wrist. So I'm going to have Crystal demonstrate our next exercise, and then we'll get into it. So this one is going to be a planche lean. You're going to start off in a plank. And we're gonna make sure that we're creating that nice wide protracted shoulders, right? Just thinking about pulling the sternum in, widening the shoulder blades. And from your plank, you're gonna lean the shoulders past your wrist as far as you're comfortable with, and we're gonna hold it here. Go ahead and rest. We'll save your energy there. So yeah, so things to think about here, guys. One, Crystal had her hands directly forward. If you need to, you can turn your hands out. That will make that lean a little bit easier on the wrist. We also want to keep that push happening. You might lose a little bit of protraction, that's okay. Just make sure that force is into the floor. And you're gonna feel, as soon as you lean, it doesn't take much, right? A couple inches and you're gonna feel a lot of weight on the shoulder. So we're only gonna hold it for 10 seconds. We're gonna do a couple rounds so you can play with that lean and just see how far you can go for 10 seconds. All right, yeah. You ready?
Ready.
All right, you guys at home, let's find that plank. Protract the shoulders and lean. Good, notice how Crystal's keeping her hips flat. We don't want any booties in the air. We still want it to look like a plank. Good, 3, 2, and rest. Good. Yeah, it makes a big difference. A couple inches of lean really makes a big difference. All right, we're gonna go back down onto our bellies. We're gonna continue to work the outer hips. We're gonna do the same thing we did before, but slightly different position. So now the knees are gonna be bent and feet together. So you're just gonna bring those heels together, and now in this position, we're gonna lift and lower those thighs, all right? 30 seconds, and let's do it. Yes, just slightly different position, but the goal is the same. We're strengthening the glutes and the lower back a little bit for our planche. We're halfway there. Good, if you want a little extra out of this one, you can really squeeze those heels together. Get a little bit of inner thigh activation going on there. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. All right, we're going into round 2 of that planche lean. So you've done it once already. If you felt like it was too easy for 10 seconds, your goal then is to see if you can lean a little bit farther. If you weren't able to make it through the 10, maybe you aren't as far, or is if for you, just holding a plank for 10 seconds today is challenging, you can stay there without the lean. All right, and let's go up into our plank. Let's lean, and we got 10 seconds. Good, good, good. Good, halfway. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good job. All right, we're back down on our bellies. Giving those shoulders some rest, working those glutes. And go ahead and begin. Good, good, good. This is your opportunity to relax those shoulders, give them a little bit of a break before we do our last round. Awesome, guys, halfway, squeeze the glutes, get the thighs to lift up off the floor, and here's the deal, guys, they might not lift at all, and that's okay, but you're still gonna be feeling the glutes, you're still gonna be working them, even if you're not getting as much lift as you'd like. And rest. All right, final round. Final lean, all right? Let's challenge those shoulders here. Or if you're just holding a plank today, that is okay too. Let's find our plank and lean. And just a reminder, even a teeny tiny bit of lean is gonna be a lot on those shoulders. Woo, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job, nice lean. All right, guys, we're back on our bellies. Here we go, 30 seconds, and begin. Hey guys, those planche leans, if you're just starting to learn calisthenics, if you're just starting to learn planche, those planche leans are one of the best places to start, just to start to build the strength in your shoulders, through your elbows, and in your core. And even if you're more advanced too, revisiting those leans is always a good idea too. 3, 2, and rest. Okay. We're gonna finish with a little bit of shoulder and core conditioning. So we are done being on our hands. Those wrists are gonna take a little bit of a break. This is where you're gonna grab your weights. There you go. And by this time, the shoulders are a little fatigued, so it might not be your heaviest weights here. Options for the weights, like we talked about earlier, can either be dumbbells, it can be a plate if you have weighted plates, it can be a backpack, anything of that sort will work. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna set up our planche position standing up. So shoulders are away from ears. Yep, we're protracted. And then from here, she's just gonna bring those arms all the way up overhead, starting to shrug the shoulders at the very top, right? The very top is gonna look like our handstand. Shoulders are up towards the ears, hollow body, and then same thing, we're gonna come down. The shoulders are gonna start to depress, and then all the way back down. And this one, we're just gonna go for time. 30 seconds, let's do it. Crystal got an extra rep in there. If you guys are using a backpack or a plate, you'll just have both hands on, which I think the dumbbells is a little harder personally than having something to hold on to. So good. Yep, we're just building strength through the shoulders. Harder than it looks, like everything we do here. Good, good, good. Let's finish out this rep, and that'll be 30. Good job, good job, good job, good job. Okay, we're gonna pair that with a hollow hold, so giving the shoulders a little bit of a break, but continuing to work our core. Easiest option for the hollow is gonna be lower back on the ground, knees are bent, and then arms are by the sides, right? Her shoulder blades are lifted just a little bit. That's option one. You guys can make it harder by extending the legs or just extending one leg and keeping the other leg tucked in. You can bring arms above head. Any combination, here's our full hollow, any combination that you need to take, we're gonna go for 30 seconds. And begin, you got like an extra 10 seconds there. we're making Crystal work today. So this is just a way to strengthen our core without being on our hands again, without being in that plank position. You'll notice Crystal's moving a little bit. That's totally fine. Feel free to move through this. The only thing that doesn't change is the position of our trunk, right? Lower back is pushing towards the floor and shoulder blades are up. What you do with your arms and legs, whatever you gotta do. 3, 2, and 1. Nice work. Good job. Okay, we're gonna do 2 more rounds of that, guys, and then we'll slow down and stretch. So grab your weights. We're going round 2. You ready? Okay, and begin. Good, yes. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Again, a reminder here through the first half, or a little more than the first half, shoulders are down. They're away from the ears. Then at the top, they start to elevate into your handstand shape. If you guys are training handstand as well, this is a great way to train strength for your handstand. Ooh, good. Go ahead and finish out that rep. Yes. How many reps are you getting? About
like 4 to 5.
Okay, which is fine. All right, we're back down on the floor. Hollow hold. A little conditioning to finish you guys out here. And begin. Remember to take whatever variation is challenging for you, but also doable. If that lower back starts to disconnect and really arch, take a different variation. It's all good. Halfway. 10 seconds here. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Whew. All right, you guys, this is it. We have one more round of those front raises, one more round of hollow holds. You guys are doing awesome. Hang with me here through this last round, and then we'll get you guys a good stretch to finish out with, all right? Here we go, shoulders depressed, and begin. And it's really not about speed. I'd rather you guys have 3 or 4 really good, slow, controlled reps than like 7 reps of just like, I don't know, swinging it around. Yep. Oh, nice job. You'll also notice, guys, at the top, Crystal is not arching. We want to avoid that. If you can only go to here without arching, that is okay. Stop there. I know, it's so tough stuff. Finish out this rep. And time. Awesome, awesome job. Whew, shoulders. All right, hollow hold. Last round. This is it, guys. All right, best effort here. Let's do it, guys. Good. Don't be afraid to challenge yourself. If you haven't tried the full hollow yet, maybe try it, even if it's just for a couple seconds. Ooh, she's going for it. Nice, halfway. Good, this is hard. You might be shaking a little bit. You might be struggling a little bit. That's okay. Woo, almost there, guys. Hold on to it. We got 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and rest. Nice work. All right, you guys, let's slow it down and stretch it out. We're gonna come onto our bellies. We're gonna do a cactus up stretch. So you're gonna take one arm, bend that elbow at 90 degrees, bring the elbow up to the shoulder, just like Crystal's doing, and then you're gonna roll your body open over that arm to feel a stretch. Position of the shoulder, if you're flexible enough to get it down to the floor, maybe it's touching, but even if it's not touching, you can still roll open and get a really good stretch through the front of the shoulder. Those are the muscles that we worked today for our planche. And let's take it over to the other side. Let's get that arm at 90 degrees. So the goal here, guys, with these more beginner exercises, the planche lean that we worked, the goal is to eventually get farther and farther and farther in your lean until the hands are kind of in line with your hips, right? That's how far we want to eventually get our lean. That's kind of what we're going for, right? Building that strength in that leaned position, because when you're in a full planche, that's the position you'll be in, shoulders past wrist. And then we're gonna go back onto the first side. This time you're gonna straighten the arm, palm face down, creating a letter T. And then same thing, body rolls open towards that hand. And the more you guys practice these movements, the farther you'll be able to lean as you build more strength in your shoulders. But give it time. It takes time to build that strength, not just in the shoulders, but especially the elbows. We're putting a lot of weight on the elbows, so take whatever time you need to progress into those leans. And let's bring it back to the first side. Go ahead and release it. Let's stretch those wrists one more time. Let's bring fingers back to face you. And you can either just hold it here with straight arms, or something else that can feel really good is to bend one elbow at a time and pull it back. And again, part of building planche strength is building strength and mobility through the wrists, and that's also something that just takes time. How you feeling?
Great.
Good.
Thank you.
Hopefully you guys at home are feeling great as well. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you again next time.